Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. We're going to begin our program today. This is the Merrimack Valley Chamber's Veterans Business Assistance Program. This is traditionally an annual program that has hundreds of people, but because of the COVID virus, we could not do it in person the way we wanted to. We're limited here at Battlegrounds. Everyone is social distancing properly with masks. We have sanitizer around, and we have less than 20 people here. And the rest is being done by Zoom. We'll take it away, Ian and Michael, for coordinating the Zoom. We have a very exciting program today. We're going to hear from our elected officials. We're going to hear from businessmen who are veterans who will talk about their success. And what I'd like to do now is turn it over, and we'll hear about from the SBA. And what I'd like to do now is turn it over to Michael, and Michael will introduce our sponsor, and also he'll introduce the speakers. So Michael Beverlock, with the coordinator, Vice President, coordinator of the Chamber's Economic Development. Hello, everyone. We need your attention. Come on.
Good morning. Can you hear me fine? I just want to say thank you to everyone for attending here in person. I also want to thank our sponsors of our Veteran Series. Without them, they wouldn't be able to do these programs. So I just want to thank first Battlegrounds Coffee Company. We're right here in Haverhill. I want to thank Sal, Dana, Mike, and the whole team for having us here today. And I also want to thank the Merrimack Valley Credit Union as our sponsor today. I want to introduce Jan, I believe, to say a few words. Thank you.
Yay!
Dana, come on up. Oh, thank you. Good morning, everyone. Happy Veterans Day in advance. We're very pleased to be the title sponsor of this event today. I just want to introduce myself. I'm Yanai Long, Senior VP of Marketing at Merrimack Valley Credit Union. And with me is Digna Johnson, Community Liaison Manager. We're very pleased, again, like I said, to be the title sponsor. We are strong advocates of veterans in our credit union, and we welcome you to our credit union. Thank you. Do you want to say a few words?
No, I just want to thank every veteran for their service. You're really appreciated.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Wait, let me get a photo. Hold on. Don't leave yet. Don't leave yet.
Thank you again. Thank you. Thank you to, excuse me 1 second.
There it is.
There we go.
Thank you to Merrimack Valley Credit Union again for this sponsorship. We appreciate it. And thank you to both of you for coming on as well today. This program we do each and every year just to say thank you. There's no way we can say thank you to our veterans. We do this each and every year just to say thank you to our veterans. And, the Merrimack Valley Chamber is here to support our veteran community. If there's ever anyone who has a job opening, please let us know. We'll be in contact with our speakers today to let them know about the different job openings so we can get them connected with people in the area. So if you do, please let us know. With that being said, I want to turn it over now to our Congressman, Marjorie Hahn, who has a very special message. And we'll begin that side right now.
And this is by tape.
And this is by recording as well.
So, Michael.
As we commemorate Veterans Day, taking a moment to thank you, our veterans, our service members, and your families. Each of you have sacrificed and continue to sacrifice to defend the freedoms that we as Americans hold so dear. When our nation needed you most, you stepped up. You answered the call of duty and you served. While we honor your service and service of veterans who are no longer with us, we must also recommit ourselves to having your back the same way you have heroically had ours. That's the commitment I make to you today and every day. And I will do everything I can to ensure that our veterans have the high quality health care they deserve. To put an end to the veteran suicide crisis that has resulted in 20 veterans taking their own lives each day, and to end veteran homelessness that has pushed those who have bravely saved our nation onto the streets because they can no longer afford to keep a roof over their heads. From the bottom of my heart, thank you to our incredible veterans, our service members, and your families for your selfless commitment to our country. I look forward to continuing our work to ensure that you're treated like the heroes all of us know you are.
Thank you to our Congresswoman. She's always there when we need her for veterans services, so we want to say thank you. I know Vlad from our office is also on the call today, so thank you to Vlad for attending also today. Another person in the state who's very special to the Merrimack Valley Chamber, who's a state representative, not only a state representative, but also a veteran herself, is Linda Dean Campbell. Linda is there whenever we need her. Whenever a veteran needs her, she is there. And we just want to say thank you to Linda Dean Campbell, and she is here to say a few words. So welcome, Linda.
Good morning, everyone. So many thanks to say to the chamber. All of you you're there for veterans all year round. It's not just on Veterans Day, and your programs mean so much to veterans. So we all know that a job is much more than a job. For a veteran, it's the entrance into the community. It's a way to make friends. It's a way to make connections, to be part of the community, and that's what veterans really want to do. They want to continue to serve. So thank you for all that you do to help veterans become employed and to borrow money to do so. And we have a great example here of a veteran-owned business with Sal and Dana. I want to thank them too, because they've given back to their community so much. Let's give them a round of applause, please. Yes. And our Congresswoman just spoke. I have the utmost respect for all of the efforts and initiatives that she is pushing at the federal level to support our veterans. We can't do it at the state level alone, in spite of the fact that we really do continue to lead the nation in supporting our veterans. And I want to thank all of our VSOs here and all the folks at VNOC, everyone that's here supporting our veterans. And I will just say this Veterans Day, I thought a lot about what to say at various veterans events. And I just want to remind everyone that 1% of our population is serving in our armed forces. And that includes our reserves and our National Guards. And we recently saw with the outbreak at the Holyoke Soldiers Home, how important our National Guard is, not only to veterans, but also to communities throughout the Commonwealth. We called on them, they were there. And we have a very big veterans omnibus bill ready to go. We're hoping that that's going to be brought to the floor soon. There's an awful lot of emergency legislation that still needs to be passed in conjunction with COVID. But you can be assured that the Massachusetts legislature and the governor are going to push on to support our veterans. They're also going to get to the bottom of the situation in Holyoke. And I know so many of our veterans are concerned about that. I'm chairing a committee. We've been out in Holyoke, listening to the staff, listening to the families. We'll get to the bottom of this and we'll fix it so that it never, ever happens again. But again, helping that 1%, being flexible when they have to go on drill. You think about someone in the reserves and how often they get called up. And so anything that we can do as business owners to help those folks that get deployed, it's hard sometimes when they're in a position of responsibility in the work environment in the private sector, but that's what makes this work. And we really do want our nation to be composed of citizen soldiers. That is really so true to our democracy. So we have to encourage that. We all have to make sacrifices, and that falls on our local businesses to do that. So again, the chamber, the folks here, you're always there year-round. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for supporting our veterans in many, many different ways. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you to Representative Linda Dean Campbell. She's here year-round, and I want to say thank you for that. Also, thank you for your service also. We can't say thank you enough. With that being said, our next speaker, keynote speaker for the morning, is Orestes Varela. He's the SVA's of Massachusetts Veterans Affairs representative. So I'm going to turn that over to him, who's joining us on Zoom today.
Good morning, everyone, and thanks for the invitation. I'm here on behalf of Robert Nelson, who's our district director for Massachusetts. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. I didn't hear it. So, yeah, so Bob Nelson couldn't be in attendance. As Joe was saying earlier, yes, Bob loves the Merrimack Valley Chamber and all the events that you do. And he's, anyway, so he sent me in his place to talk a little bit about about veteran programs, the SBA. So anyway, Small Business Administration, we're a small federal agency, one of the smallest. There's only about 14 of us in Massachusetts, and 2 of us are here today. Lisa Gonzalez Welch is on the line too, and myself. I typically cover the Springfield area, the 4 counties of Western Massachusetts, and all of you know Lisa, and she covers the northern area there. But anyway, so SBA last week was SBA had declared as National Veteran Small Business Week, and which is pretty much what we do every year. But at the special request of the Merrimack Valley Chamber, we extended it till today. So that's the little gift for you folks. So anyway, thanks to all our veterans who are out there who have served. I appreciate your service and the sacrifices you and your families have made. The theme of National Veteran Small Business Week is actually local resources to support veterans. And we have resources that support everyone, but there's basically 3 major areas that SBA provides assistance. So counseling's number 1, and you're probably all familiar with SCORE, Small Business Development Center, the Center for Women in Enterprise, and VBOC, Veterans Business Outreach Center. We have a new director of our VBOC, which is a Jenny Murphy, and I'm not sure if she's on the line or not, but anyway, eventually she will be introduced to you, or you'll get to meet her. But the Veterans Business Outreach Center is one of our resource partners that works exclusively with veterans and their families. That's what they do. So that's the number 1 resource partner to help veterans and their families. And they provide, all of these resource partners provide one-on-one counseling and workshops that are all free. Everyone is operating virtually, so there's really no restriction as to where. Now, again, I'll refer back to Lisa Gonzalez Welch. So as the SBA rep who covers your region, and she would be the best person to reach out to. And Lisa, maybe you can type in your email in the chat box there. But anyway, so she would be the best person to reach out. The next area is capital. So money and how to access money. So SBA has many different programs to finance a business that is looking to start or grow, expand. One of the things that is important for veterans to know is that through our lender banks, there's an express program. Okay, and this express program, so typically it costs money to borrow money from the SBA programs. And so there's a fee structure. But if you're a 51% veteran-owned business, that those fees are waived on loans of up to $350,000. Those fees are around like 2 to 3%. So we're talking a few $1,000s. So that's the advantage for veteran-owned businesses when it comes to the financing. And I'm talking quick and covering a lot of territory. The other area is contracting. So contracting is a huge area for the SBA to provide assistance. And one of the there's 4 certifications that, just to cover very quickly, it's 8A, which is a disadvantaged socially or economically, hub zones, historically underutilized business zones, and there's a women-owned business. And then lastly is service disabled, veteran-owned. So those are the 4 certifications in government contracting. And what those certifications provide are an opportunity to compete for contracts at a basically slightly advantageous as opposed to not having a certification. It's a great big area. There's a lot involved. It's kind of tedious to get into government contracting. We have 2 people in our Boston office. The lead is Nadine Boone, and hopefully Lisa can put her contact information. So Nadine Boone is our lead contracting person. And we also have another organization called PTAC, Procurement Technical Assistance Center, which helps businesses. This organization holds their hands step by step, gets them, helps them with their profile, helps them compete for contracts, even finds the contracts for them, and it's all free. So that's the other area. So the counseling, the capital, and the contracting. And then the last thing I just wanted to cover briefly, I know I have just a couple more minutes. Last thing is the recovery. So during COVID, obviously, we see what's happening today. And all across the country, this is happening. SBA through through Congress and the president signing the CARES Relief Act has provided billions of dollars all across the country to help small businesses. The numbers for Massachusetts are staggering. So between the PPP and the EIDL loans and grants, $18 billion went to businesses just in Massachusetts. 274,000 businesses received assistance. That's remarkable. 274,000 businesses just in Massachusetts, $18 billion. And if there's something else to take away, is that the economic injury disaster loan is still available. It is still available. So if you go to sba.gov/disaster, if you're a business and you still need assistance, sba.gov/disaster, you can apply for that EIDL loan, as we call it. That's 3.75% interest rate, 30 years, and the first payment's not due for a year. So businesses that still need that assistance, that is out there for them. So that's pretty much what I wanted to cover. I know there's other people on the agenda. I don't know if Lisa had anything else that I missed or wanted to say, but again, thanks to our veterans. Thanks for your service. Thanks to all the folks in the chamber and who put this together and provided this opportunity for me to speak. Anything else, Lisa?
Nope, you covered it all, or I say thank you. I'd apologize. My camera is acting fluky. I put all that contact information on the chat box, so you can find all of that in your chat box. And thank you to our veterans for your service and everything you've done. And Merrimack Valley, as always, thank you for inviting us. You do a fabulous job. Always pleased to team up with you to assist entrepreneurs.
All right, that's it from my end.
And as Aresh was saying, the SBA is there, the veterans, Lisa Gonzalez, Bob Nelson, the director, they are there all the time for veterans in the Merrimack Valley. So if you need to reach out to them, you can always contact the chamber, get the information, and just thank you to Aresh again for joining us. I also want to thank everyone who's joining us on Zoom today. I know State Representative Christina Micucci is joining us, and we want to thank her also for joining us this morning and recognize her. I also want to recognize Cal Williams, who's a co-chair for the Veterans Committee at the Merrimack Valley Chamber. The other co-chairs I'm going to introduce right now. Sal DeFranco, when he came back from the military, him and his wife Dana co-founded Battlegrounds Coffee Company right here in downtown Haverhill. He joined the chamber. He's been on the chamber's Veterans Committee ever since he's been here. And he also started a new business venture now also. So that being said, I want to introduce Sal DeFranco with Battlegrounds Coffee Company.
Hello, everybody. Another year, another great Veterans Day event, or a little pre-Veterans Day, but another great Veterans event at Battlegrounds Coffee. Becoming a part of the Merrimack Valley Chamber is probably one of the best business decisions Dana and I have made as business owners, and we've made a lot of them. We've just surpassed 4 years here at Battlegrounds Coffee, and we've been successful. And we're very lucky because we understand that given the time, given COVID, it's a challenging time for small businesses everywhere. But I'd like to speak to the Chamber's commitment to us and to all small businesses, not just veteran businesses, through this hard time. I remember when this happened, one of the first people I called was Joe. I said, Joe, what are we supposed to do? What's happening? Who do we call? Who are we supposed to get in touch with? What are the regulations? What are the resources available to us? And Joe knew everyone to call. He knew everyone to get us in touch with. He knew you know, what was going to be happening, when it was going to be happening, the things we needed to do to make sure we were prepared for this, for the pandemic, you know, as well as anybody could be, because I understand that this has been a challenging time for all of us, and there's still a lot of unknowns as we move forward. Another reason the Chamber has been such an incredible resource to us is the people you meet. Being a veteran, you know, sometimes it can be hard to find other veterans. Like Representative Campbell had said, 1% of our population serves. It's not that many. And so sometimes it can be hard to connect with other veterans in the area, especially other veteran business owners or veterans who are just involved in the business community, and it can serve as a resource, you know. But lucky enough, the Merrimack Valley Chamber, in my humble opinion and non-biased opinion, is the chamber for veterans. We have such a strong veteran community within the chamber. You know, we've got Bill, we have our new VSO here, you know, we have Representative Linda Dean Campbell. It's just an incredible group of people that are always working towards one goal, and that is to support the veteran business community. So if you're a veteran, you're thinking about starting a business, you own a business, you know a veteran that owns a business or is starting to own a business, please get them in touch with us. We have all the resources for them, and we will always be there to support them. And so with that, I want to say thank you everybody for coming. Thank you for making this another successful veterans event at Battlegrounds Coffee.
Thank you to Sal. You know, Sal and his wife Dana, we want to thank both of them, everyone here at Battlegrounds, Mike, Molly, Hunter, and the whole team. Even in a COVID year, they still welcomed us, the Merrimack Valley Chamber, and our veteran community into the door. So we just want to say thank you for always thinking of veteran community and having us here this morning. I also want to just mention that Dana, his wife, is also our Women in Business Committee, and they are the co-founders here at Battlegrounds Coffee Company. So thank you again for having us, and thank you to Sal for his work this morning. Thank you for service. I want to introduce our last speaker today.
Well, Michael just mentioned Women Business Conference coming up.
Yeah, this coming Friday, actually, our annual Women Business Conference. You just heard from Congressman Trahan. She will be the keynote speaker. And we have a great panel also. It's free to register for. You can find everything about all the upcoming events at merrimackvalleychamber.com. I just want to thank Rayanne also from our office and Mary Beth. Without them, we will run these programs. So thank you very much. Our final speaker of the morning, before we introduce a couple of final people, is Bill Kelly, William Kelly. He's the captain, U.S. Coast Guard retired, and loan consultant with Calvert Home Loans. He's a great chamber member. He always asks how we can help. And we want to thank you for being here today, and thank you for your service.
Mike. Well, good morning, everyone, and thank you for coming. Remembering Veterans Day and supporting veterans, while it's a year-round kind of mindset, I think it's totally appropriate to take some dedicated time on around Veterans Day to do these types of things. So thank you for the Chamber for the opportunity to talk, and thank you for support with Battlegrounds Coffee. I wanted to talk about just the mindset of veterans looking to enter the business community and making that military to civilian kind of transition. It's important to have the right mindset. When you're on active duty or when you're involved with a unit, you've got admin people. They kind of track things for you. They help you, facilitate you through your career. When you get out, you have to become your own best advocate. You have to become your admin. You have to keep track of kind of your paperwork, your medical record. Number one tip, if you're getting out, make a copy of your medical record. As it relates to business, there are incredible resources both in the business community and just in the what I would call the general wellness community. You have nonprofit organizations like here in Haverhill, Veterans Northeast Outreach Center. They have a big footprint. They're in Massachusetts. They're in New Hampshire. They're down in the Cape. They're out in Western Mass. And you know what? They know everybody. So if they can't solve your problem, they're going to know someone who can. You've got businesses owned by veterans. They're involved in the chamber. They have blazed the path for you. So all of the resources that you need are kind of trapped in one place. The other thing I would say is now, particularly when you're transitioning, if you're thinking, I want to do something different, now is a fantastic time to do that. I always use myself as an example, whether it's a VA disability claim, a talk about my issues and how to get through that. Since I left the military, I've been a teacher, certified by the state of Massachusetts. So I went through that process. I've been I'm a loan consultant now, federally licensed as a mortgage professional. I've been through that process. My point is, there are no real limitations to what you can do. You have to be self-motivated, but you have to be your own advocate. No one's going to call you. So let's talk about resources real quick. There are a ton of resources out there. Merrimack Valley Chamber of Commerce, fantastic resource. VNOC, a fantastic resource. In the state of Massachusetts, we're lucky. Every town has a veteran service officer that is funded essentially by the towns, organized and managed by the state. They are there to help you. New Hampshire, they don't have every town, they have a regional VSOs. Your state might be different, but those resources are out there, but you have to make that first phone call. And then lastly, if you have a veteran in your life, the veteran doesn't have to make the phone call. If you're concerned for an older veteran and you think they need to reach out to the VA, you can make that phone call for them. You can help them, particularly in New England. It's cold, although not today. It's getting dark, daylight savings time. We just finished Halloween, so that means the holidays are right around the corner. If that is a time of concern for you, if that's a time that impacts you, don't wait. Look for the resources now. Make the phone calls now. Make the connections. And one last connection. Totally homegrown, absolutely fantastic, supported here by Battlegrounds Coffee, are the Veterans Coffee Socials. Informal groups, meet once a week, sit down, have coffee, tell us these stories, and they're popping up all over Massachusetts and New Hampshire. And I'm sure there's one in your town. If there isn't, you can certainly start one. So my message is more about self-empowerment, self-tracking, and be your own best advocate. Thank you so much. Thank you, Bill.
Thank you, Bill. Bill's been a member for a little bit over a year now. We always ask, how can he help? Which we always see with the veteran community. They're always there to help others, and we just want to be there to help them as well. We have a few other people I just want to introduce to you today. I know Chief Ed Mitchell from Veterans Northeast Outreach Center is here. As well as Joe LeBlanc, the District Director of Veteran Services Northeast. We couldn't make it today. He wants to show support. Luis Santiago, the Veteran Service Officer at Haverhill. Tom Hargraves, the Veteran Service Officer from Methuen. They're both here today as well. And Mark Camaro, the Town of Andover Veteran Service Officer as well. I know a few of them are here today, so I'll introduce them to say a few words. I'll introduce first Chief Ed Mitchell from VNOC.
All right, thank you very much. Veterans Day, always excited. This Veterans Day, a little extra excited for myself and my family. You heard the 1%. My grandfather served in World War II. My dad served in my grandfather served in World War I. My dad followed him and served in World War II. My brother served in Vietnam. I served, and now my daughter's serving. And this weekend, I get to go down to Washington, D.C. and actually be part of her pinning ceremony as she pins on her captain's flag. So I'll be first and foremost, I'd like to thank the Merrimack Valley Veterans Association for the years and years of support for the Veterans Northeast Outreach Center. Without that support, we would not have been able to expand from a small storefront operation in Lawrence to where we are located on the hill here in Haverhill, with more than 50 full-time employees, multiple grants, multiple programs and services for our veterans. I'm sure many of our small business owners are familiar with the term do more with less. Those who served in the military are quite familiar with that term, do more with less. Improvise, adapt, and overcome. And at the Veterans Northeast Outreach Center, we've become quite proficient at doing that throughout the years. This year, however, is an exceptional year, as you all are quite aware, with the COVID pandemic, businesses being shut down, or at reduced capacity. The donations that we receive at the Veterans Northeast Outreach Center substantially less than what we would normally be receiving. And then in addition to that, a couple of our grants have been reduced, although one has been increased, so that was a big plus. But nonetheless, it's still a challenge. So I'm not here to ask anybody for money. Instead, I'm going to ask you to please pray. Pray for the Veterans Northeast Outreach Center. Pray for our outstanding professional staff that they will be able to continue to meet the needs of our veterans today and tomorrow. And
yeah, tell us, you've got a big event coming up, don't you?
We got, the Garrison building will be, we actually have ribbon cutting Thursday, day after Veterans Day.
New veterans housing?
New veteran preference housing. We're going to have additional 31 veteran families starting Thursday. They'll be moving in. And we're actually looking forward to it. It's going to be quite a challenge because, like I said, our funds have been reduced, but the demand for services has never been higher. As you can imagine, during the pandemic, this is when our veterans need us the most. I'm sure these veterans at the Garrison building will walk up the hill to our food pantry. Our food pantry Tuesdays and Wednesdays has been overwhelmed. We've been able to increase the quality and the quantity, partnering with Mass Military Foundation. We've been able to really step things up. However, keeping pace now, we need to hire additional staff, and that's where the funding problem's coming in. But we believe we'll be able to handle that with volunteers. So anybody willing, wanting to volunteer, I'm trying to encourage something along the lines of our National Guards and Reserves with a volunteer 1 weekend a month. If we can get our local electricians and plumbers and landscapers to volunteer 1 week a month at the Veterans Outreach Center, we got a coordinator that's going to be able to coordinate things and get things done on a volunteer basis. So that'll save us funding that we can put into taking care of our immediate needs for our veterans. Thank you.
Thank you, Ed, Chief. We appreciate you stopping by today. I want to introduce Louis Santiago, who's the City of Haverhill, Emergency Service Officer at State Wards.
Hey. Hello, everyone, and thank you for the invitation, Joe. Thank you to the Chamber, to the City of Haverhill, for opening their arms and welcoming me, showing me the ropes, and basically giving me a place to call home. Veterans Day is a day to not only honor and recognize our veterans, we look to recognize and let them know that we never forget. The best thing we can give our veterans or our veteran community is to educate yourself or just speak to somebody who can actually give them the information they need to figure out what are these resources, what are these programs available to actually help them out in a time of need. I want to thank Sal. I want to thank Dana for opening up Battlegrounds to actually have this event. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to come and say hello to everyone. I look forward to helping out as many veterans as possible. Take care, social distances, wash your hands, keep your mask on. Haverhill actually just came off red. We're one of the cities who were able to accomplish that because we follow the guidelines that were set by our governor, and I look forward to working with each and every one. Thank you.
And from the City of McEwen, the Veteran Service Officer, Tom Margaret. Welcome, Tom.
Good morning. I too would like to thank the Chamber and Battlegrounds Coffee Shop for inviting us here today and having this fantastic event. It's something that they do periodically, and I'm glad to attend. These are going to be exciting times in the film. I have retired. I'm doing part-time work in the office right now. If you have some concern about the Veterans Office, please call the Mayor's office. Let him know what your thoughts might be. He's looking for all kinds of input. The job has changed considerably since the 13 years ago I got it. Representative Linda D. Campbell did not give her entire resume. She is also head of the Federal Affairs and Veterans Committee for the House. So she's been a very good asset to us. A lot of work has been done, and she has always been available to us. As has been said, if you need anything, you're a veteran, even if you want to come in and talk, the resources are there. Come on in, talk to us. Sometimes we can identify a resource that you haven't even thought about. So that's what we're there for. We're trying to be a one-stop shop. I want to thank Ed Mitchell from VNOC for his partnership and everything that we do. I think it's called Mass Hires now, the career centers. They help us with job search and things like that. So we kind of get our fingers in a lot of pies, and you should come in and make use of that at your convenience. Please call the offices. All the offices are listed on the city's website, so please do so. Thank you very much. Have a great Veterans Day, and I look forward to being with you again soon. Thank you.
Thank you very much. The Merrimack Valley Chamber probably, we have over 100 annual programs each year. I think over 80 webinars since everything started with COVID. But this is one of our favorite programs of the year. It's our way just to say thank you to the veteran community. So we want to thank all the veterans who are here today. Everyone who joined us on Zoom. I know Cal Williams, who's our co-chair, is on Zoom too. So say thank you to Cal as well. And there is a job bank on the Merrimack Valley Chamber College job board. It's free to post jobs there. So if anyone has any openings, you can feel free to post those there. As I mentioned, we have over 100 programs each year, more than I think any other chamber in the country. So if anyone's interested in attending an event via Zoom or hybrid like today in person, please do. And if we can ever be of any assistance, please let us know. I want to thank everyone again for joining us via Zoom this morning, everyone for joining us in person. I want to thank the Merrimack Valley Credit Union again for their sponsorship today. We appreciate it. I want to thank Sal, Dana, Mike, and the whole Battlegrounds Coffee Company team for having us here today. They're located right in downtown Eva, open weekly as well. And I just want to say thank you to those who continue to serve today, those who have served as well, the men and women who continue to serve as well. And without you, we would be able to do these programs. So thank you very much. And just remember that our veterans on Veterans Day this Wednesday. And I think there might be one more announcement.
Thank you again, everyone. One of the programs that we've learned with respect to veterans is veterans families. And we've listened to the veterans that we've met with Sal and Cal and our friends here today. And one of the people that's been instrumental in telling us about veterans family needs is Dana DeFranco. She's the wife of Sal DeFranco. She's also a businesswoman. But she's also, as Michael mentioned, she coordinates the Chamber's Women in Business program. But she's told us about veterans families' needs and the needs for us to recognize. Sometimes we overlook that. So if I could ask Dana DeFranco to come forward and just say a few words about the issues that are important to families that we sometimes overlook. Give her a round of applause.
Good morning. Thank you all for coming and Zoom in. Thank you for being with us. Veterans Day, basically the month of November is very important. It's near and dear to my heart. So you all know my husband served, my father served, many of my family have served. So veterans and those who serve are very important to me. We celebrate Veterans Day all month. It's not just one day. And we celebrate it in a big way. And so being a family member of a veteran, it's a special place. You need to be supportive and encouraging and know what people have been through, though you may have not gone through it. To be a shoulder for somebody is very important. To be encouraging for our veterans is very important. To not try to understand where they're coming from, but just to be that support. So for all who aren't veterans, who aren't veteran-owned businesses, who aren't looking to open a veteran business, you can support veterans in other ways. Buy local, shop small business, be an ear, be kind. I hear it more and more nowadays where people will thank veterans for their service, and it really warms my heart. So thank you, and again, thank you all for coming. I know it's different times, but we pulled together as a community, so happy Veterans Day to all.
Thank you, everyone, again. We appreciate it. Thank you to our rest from the SBA and all of our speakers today, Sal DeFranco, Bill Kelly, Collins Renderhan, and everyone again for joining us. And thank you again for everyone for your service, who is a veteran. And again, just think of a veteran this Wednesday on Veterans Day, and we look forward to being with you for the next program. Thank you again.
Thank you.